Hey viewers, welcome back to Andy's Garage. Hey, in the garage today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not working on a car. Today I'm going to be working on this four-wheeler. It's an '02 Honda Rancher ES, and I'm going to just do a service on it. New air filter. I'm going to go ahead and put a new oil filter and change the oil in there. And this is the, let me get out of that sun there, this is the part number for the oil filter. Tiny little thing. But anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna get up underneath there and drain this oil. Hey viewers, all right, you can see a drain plug right there. We're about about in the center of the four-wheeler here underneath it, and that is a 17 millimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and get that socket on here, and we'll get it drained. As you can see, I got the drain plug out. She's draining, and like I said, this is takes a 17 millimeter socket. So we're gonna wait for this to drain out and put the drain plug back in, and then we'll go over onto the other side and replace the filter. Hey viewers, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop these three bolts out, and those are an 8 millimeter. And this is located, if you're on the four-wheeler, this is located on the right hand side right here by the dipstick. So we're going to take these three bolts out and change out that oil filter. Alright, this is what it looks like when you pop this cap off. And this is the filter here. And they make it idiot proof because it says right there, outside. See? So you can't put it in wrong. I mean, so it's clearly written on there. But just in case you do, this is what the back side looks like. And this is what the outside looks like. So I'm going to go over to the bench, grab the new filter, and pop her in. Okay, I do want to show you one thing. There is a spring inside here, so make sure you don't lose that. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, when you look at this oil filter, it says outside, and then on the other side it says this side and spring towards engine. So I just want to mention that just in case you go with an aftermarket, because I do have an aftermarket oil filter on the bench, and because it came with the air filter, because the air filter is aftermarket. But anyway, I just want to mention this just in case you get an aftermarket one and it's not marked. You can kind of get an idea of you know, which end goes where. Alright, I'm gonna slap this in and then put the cover back on. Well, I'm gonna clean this O-ring first around here, and then slap the cover on and put those three bolts back in there. Hey viewers, alright, I've got the three bolts back on this oil filter cover. You don't have to be all Hercules when you tighten these down, but just make sure you get them snug though, is you don't want to over tighten them, because like everything else in the world nowadays, everything's aluminum, and you don't want to strip out those threads. And underneath here you can see I've got my oil drain pan, because obviously you're going to have oil come pouring out of here when you take that filter off. So make sure you got your little oil pan or something underneath there, like I do. And then whatever residue's left, you know, I just took a little bit of brake cleaner, sprayed it down, and then wiped it down, especially because of the plastic footrest here, because brake cleaner and some plastics don't like each other, and you can actually damage some types of plastics. So I just wiped it off right away. I'm going to give her a quick bath when I'm done anyway, because she's full of dust and dirt. But anyway, I'm going to go grab the oil, and we're going to go on to the other side of the four-wheeler and put some oil in her. Yeah, for the oil, these things call for the GN4. It's a Honda oil. It's for their four-stroke engines. You can go with something different, but this is what I decided to go with because this is what Honda recommends, and with it being an 02, I'd rather just start putting the good stuff in there to keep the engine running as long as possible. Anyway, like I said, there's just a cap on here that obviously unscrews. Drop your funnel in, and we're going to put some oil in there. And like I said, and now this oil fill is, if you're sitting on the four-wheeler, it's over here on the left side. All right, so I'm gonna get this oil put in, and then we'll get her fired up and check the oil level. All right, viewers, I put just under 1.5 quarts in there, so we're gonna start her up and check for leaks, and then check our fuel level. No leaks. This right here is your dipstick. Right there. Man, left my tripod out at our campsite area, so now I've got to hold my camera. That's why I haven't done a full video on this. But anyway, I'm gonna grab this dipstick real quick, and we'll check the level on it. Pull it out, clean it, shove her back in there. Make sure when you stick these in, you stick them all the way in. I've seen people not get dipsticks all the way in and they think they were low, and they weren't, just because they didn't stick it in all the way. Okay, now we're just down to the minimum mark. We gotta get to that second mark there. So we'll go ahead and go over to the other side and add some more oil to it. Hey viewers, yeah, she takes exactly 2 quarts. I went ahead and dropped the full 2 quarts in there, and there she is, full 2 quarts. So anyway, that's all it takes to do this oil. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this seat off, and we'll change out this air filter. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull up on that lever, and that'll take that puppy out. Oh, and another thing I had to do to this, and I already did it when I had it on the trailer, had to get a new battery for it. There was a battery that was in this sucker was short. All right, I'll show you what I'm talking about with this air filter. Yeah, that's that's no good. So anyway, on this, it's not too bad. There's a Phillips head screw right here that loosens up that clamp and slides right out. Hey viewers, all right, like I said, she slides in there, and try not to get crap on your hands, because then you get on the air filter and it's just a foam filter. But anyway, slides in, clamp her down, and she's good to go. I went ahead and I removed the battery, and then I reinstalled it because I just slapped it in real quick so I can get this thing started and off the trailer. I do want to stress something. Most of you out there who work on stuff every day know this, but there may be somebody out there who does not know this, and it's very important to your safety and to your vehicle. Whatever it is, a car, motorcycle, ATV, doesn't matter. Whenever you go to remove a battery, you always want to remove this negative battery cable first. because what's going to happen is if you go and you try to remove the positive side first and you hit something that's steel or anything that's conductive, you can short the battery out and you can short your electrical system out. And especially in cars and motorcycles or anything that's, you know, even ATVs that are fuel injected, you know, you can start messing stuff up real quick. And not only that, you risk blowing the battery up too. But anyway, but then when you go to reinstall the battery, it's the opposite. You connect your positive side first, and then you do your negative side. Because whenever you're messing with a battery, you want to isolate the ground. You want to isolate it because you do not want to take the chance of causing damage. And not only that, but also when you go to jump a vehicle, and here's another thing that I'm going to stress too. When you go to jump a vehicle or put a battery in or anything, always look at the designations on the battery. Never ever go off of the colors of the jumper or the battery cables, because you can, I've seen it numerous times where people have used red and red or black and black. They've used the same colors. So you always want to look at the designations on the battery itself. Never go off of the cable colors. Anyway, and then the strap here, this little hook here goes over this lip right there. And like I said, all I did was stuck a screwdriver down in here and onto that hook and right over that plastic clip there. And that's what you do for this battery hold down. And it's very important that you tie down your batteries too. You never want your batteries flopping around, because you can actually damage your batteries, and then you can loosen up your battery cables, and then you have all sorts of problems after that. You'd be surprised how many times things don't start because of loose battery cables or because of corrosion on battery cables. People think they need a battery, they think they need a jump start, and it's actually loose cables or corroded cables. So always keep that in mind too. And then what I did to access the battery is, this is just a cover here that goes over these relays and over the starter solenoid. You know, it just, I like to fiddle with this whenever I turn the camera off, because it's hard to. Anyway, this cover here comes, it slides out. It just has these two clips here, and then these tabs, 3 tabs, they just pop right into these slots here, and then you just throw the seat back on. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that cover back on. I'm going to put the seat back on. I'm going to pull it out and just give this thing a real quick washing, because it has a bunch of field dirt on it. The backstory on this four-wheeler. Hate when people be creeping down the road, because you never know what they're up to. Anyway, yeah, because usually this road here, people are going 55, 60 miles an hour, and this dude's going like 20. Anyway, the backstory on this four-wheeler is it's the four-wheeler that they use on the baseball and softball fields at the school where I work. They mainly use it to pull the drag, to drag the fields. But anyway, that's the backstory on this thing. So anyway, you may have noticed this John Deere 214. I talked about it once before. I had her up and running, and she was running okay. But what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and ordered a new carburetor and put a new carb on here. So anyway, I just adjusted the governor the other day, and now I just have to do some throttle adjustments down here, because she runs good idling, but when you crank up the throttle, she just doesn't quite run right. And I've made some adjustments on the fuel, and just about got her. She's running a lot better. So I want to get her running because she has a snow blade on here, and we're going to use this out at the Sportsman's Club where we're at, where we're knocking down that trailer to clear a spot for us for our camper. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. that's it on this four-wheeler. I just wanted to show a real quick video on this. It's something simple. Anybody can do it. And it's one of those deals where, believe me, if I can do this stuff, I know you can. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for someone. And if it was, like, subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.